I am telling you." Then the Lord appeared and then held my hand and told me, "Richard, your time is up. You have to go back to the earth." The vision ended. When it resumed, the Lord held my hand and said, "We are going home." Then we speeded out into the sky, and in the shortest possible time, we were at the gate of heaven. Immediately I was dressed with my heavenly garment, and I got clothed a glorified body. I was well dressed and looking so nice with Jesus by my side in the heaven. At that very moment the gate of heaven opened for us and we enter. When I entered with Jesus into heaven, I saw that this part of the city was quiet. I didn't understand what was going on, so I asked the Lord, "Is this the same place I visited the last time?" But the Lord Jesus was quiet. Immediately I saw tears dropping from his eyes. At that moment I saw a staircase appearing. It was going from the kingdom of heaven towards the earth. Then I saw around the staircase a multitude of angels who were holding trumpets, and they were ready to sound the trumpet. They were standing by in line of two sides around the staircase, and at the end of the staircase there was a very brilliant and a very lighted substance. In fact, it was so shiny I couldn't look at it. Then the Lord said, "Richard, turn around and face me." When I turned towards Jesus Christ, all of a sudden I noticed that Jesus turned into an ordinary human being, just like when he was on earth and when he went through the crucifixion, and I saw the marks of the nails in his hand, the thorny crown and all the wounds that he suffered, and he was bleeding profusely. Even the tears he was shedding turned into blood. In fact, it was so bad for me to look at that. Jesus told me that I should bow my head. I bowed my head and Jesus vanished. I was on my knees for a longer period. Then I heard somebody touching me, and when I lifted my head it was Jesus. And he took back his glorified and exalted shape, and he was looking glorious. He was in his kingly garment. As I was observing the Lord, I noticed that he was holding two clocks in his hand, one in his left hand and the other in his right hand. He showed me the two clocks that he was carrying. On the first clock, which was in his right hand, I noticed that the hour and the minute were on the 12 hour, which was marked with red, but I didn't understand what it meant. When I observed the second clock in his left hand, I noticed that the time was few minutes to 12. I didn't understand this either, but I observed and I noticed that these two clocks had two different times. The Lord told me that the difference between the two clock in his hand is that the time was finished, but after pleading for humanity his Father gave him the new clock, which was 2 minutes to 12 hour. Jesus said it was because the Father has accepted to give humanity a little time that he came up with this new clock. But in reality the time appointed for the dispensation of grace and mercy was long overdue. The angels were about to sound the trumpet. Jesus said, "I was about to come and rapture my church, but I noticed that many Christians were not ready. That's why I went to the Father and I pleaded on behalf of humanity." Jesus said, "The second clock on my right hand, which is 12 hour, is the Father's clock. It is 12 o'clock in the Father clock, meaning the Father's time was already up. But it was a result of my pleading that the Father has given humanity this short time to try and work things out." Jesus said to me, "For this reason you should go to the earth quickly and warn humanity." But I said to the Lord, "Lord, how can I do this work? I don't have money, I don't have anything. So how can I go to the world?" The Lord then told me, "It is not about money, you just have to share my word to others." He said, "I have one person on earth to help, which is your pastor." Then the vision ended. When the vision resumed, the Lord appeared and said, "Richard, it is time to go home." Immediately we landed in a compound and the place was nice. I noticed that I was dressed with celestial clothes of light and my body was glorified. I became like Jesus. I was looking very handsome, beautiful and glorious. When we got to the gates of heaven, the gate opened for us and we entered. When we entered the gate, I saw a very beautiful garden that is beyond description, with so many beautiful flowers in it. In fact, I could not describe it. In fact, when we entered and I saw those flowers, I was so curious and I wanted to fetch one of the flowers. But when I tried touching it, the flower spoke to me. The flower said, "Do not touch me. You are not yet ready to touch me." I was shocked. I said, "How on earth can the flower speak?" While I was thinking about this, immediately my friend the Lord Jesus appeared. At that very moment I saw all the flowers bowing. The trees in this garden started bowing and singing a melodious song of praise to Jesus. The song goes like, "You are the Lord and you created all things, although you did not create us in your own image, but we praise you because you have used us to decorate the kingdom of heaven." These were some of the words that were in the song that they were singing. The reality is that everything in heaven is a living thing. Nothing is a dead. Everything in heaven have consciousness. There is life in everything in the celestial world, including the flowers, the tree,